Don't blink, it's your boy Ink. Welcome to your show. Guys, I'm doing well. So having a wonderful day on this 6 March 2025. Today we're gonna be filming the sunset. It is not the best sunset, but there is still a sunset. I want to film it. Gonna be hearing me talking, be making videos. You know how it is. You know how we've been doing it, and that is pretty much it. So enjoy. Oh shit. Alabama, Arkansas. I still love my mom and pop. Okay. Toodaloo. Toodaloo. Yo, let's go. That is so freaking cool. They had something like this. Okay, good. Alabama, Arkansas, I still love my mom and pop. No screaming. No screaming. I still love my mom and pop. Secret revealed with brunch chez le père. 6 4 2025. Good. Ooh, that's disgusting. There you go. Ah. Good. Is that good or no? This is good. That is good. Did I ask for that? No. I asked for the camera. Don't blink. It's your boy Ink. Welcome to our show. I'm doing well bad. Because I'm doing well. Because I'm having a wonderful day. Whoa, that was a mess, but this is my first video in a couple of days. As you can see, we have the lovely tower, sunset. We also have this. I was careful not to show you today's video. If I'm doing well on the 6th of April, I say it twice because I do hope that you are doing well. Otherwise, what's wrong? Want to talk about it? Let me know. Today we're asking a question. And technically speaking, what is a question? A question is for research of knowledge, right? A question is, I'm wondering something, maybe if I ask around, people will know, right? Now, there's, of course, the usual and casual question, why is the sky blue? Why does my dad doesn't love me? How are you single, Ink? You're such a gilf. Which is apparently, Grandpa, I'd like to... I'm 32. So I got really bad genetics, I guess. Somebody even asked me, people even ask me, is Santa Claus real? And then you tell them, I don't know, but then they show you a picture. and there's this random dude with a beard and a dirty white shirt hanging with your mom, and your mom doesn't want to tell you that a new boyfriend or side fling. She's telling you that's Santa Claus. Who am I to tell you that your mom has been cheating on your dad for now years? Who am I to tell you? However, there's a question that we don't ask enough. What is the weather today? How are you? How's work? How was your day? Are you more of a Spanish salad or a manzanilla olive kind of person? Those questions do not get asked enough. If somebody asked me which one of those two I prefer, I would be like, this is such a good question. Why have I never thought about it? So as they say in French, let's dive in. Like a sailor, I had to nail her. Addicted to her paraphernalia, I had to tell ya. A little bit of Juice WRLD, because there's some olive juice. Is it related? Am I just making puns? Possibly. Who knows? So I'm going to be doing something disgusting. The first on the menu is manzanilla farcie, which is stuffed in French. I wanted to make it sound a bit fancier. Am I saying that French is fancier than English? No. Am I saying that most people that watch my video speak English and will find me being bilingual kind of extravaganza? Possibly. So something disgusting. Pretty nice, pretty noise. I wouldn't do a shot of these, to be honest, but it's not bad. No, for the pièce de résistance. A little look at the third eye. Those are noise. Not extremely salted. Extremely salted. However, you still get the nice little morsel of flesh. I was trying to click something, but my fingers are full of olive juice. Okay, fuck you. There you go. Wanna fuck around? Fuck you. The flesh is actually really nice. The little pepper has a little something. See, I love olives. And I do not like pepper. But when there's no pepper, I'm like, it's missing. That was number one. Pretty good. Very salty. Very tasty. Like I said, I would put this in a salad. I wouldn't eat these on its own. That's a bad stuff because I do like olives. Fun fact, me and my mom love olives. We love cucumbers. We love mushrooms. My father doesn't like these. So culinary speaking, I am 100% DNA my mom. A Spanish salad. If I knew how to say it in Spanish, I would have done it. I would have said a oliva de salada, but I don't know how to say it in Spanish. I'm not gonna pretend like I know. So the second taste has a little bit of juice felt. It is completely different. I gotta say, this video was a bit of a mockery, of a bit of a joke. If I'm being completely honest, with a bit of a joke, I'm like, dude, they're both olive. Who gives a shit, right? But they're completely different, right? So now we have a olive with pepper. Now with these one, olive pepper on the bottom. See, this is amazing. This is amazing. Hands down. Wonderful. It is so filled. That all the top olives are broken. These are much tastier. The juice is better. They're bigger. It feels like more flesh. Like, I just saw this Tammy video. Should I touch Tammy? and we're asking the age-old question of the GMM term. Yeah, your boy's cultivated. Are you more of a legs kind of gal or a breast kind of gal? And we're saying, well, I love the meat of the legs, but I like the skin on the breasts, right? I'll be completely honest and say that I don't know. I do not know. Well, look at this. Mmm. Mmm. These are so freaking good. They're very akin to one of my favorites, which is Kalamata. Mmm. This is really good. Hands down. I'm sorry to say, but this is winning by a landslide. Now, originally I would have been like, oh, they're very similar, but it doesn't matter which one you prefer. You prefer the one with more. Well, if they were similar, you would have went with the one that you like the most. You prefer a strong olive taste or a strong pepper taste. You just wanted the olive, the strong pepper. They're not bad, but these are really good. I think the difference here is the juice in which it marinates, but it's also the fact that for the first one feels really salty. There's not a lot of with the salt, so you get the pleasure of tasting the flesh. You get the pleasure of having the pepper. The other one is just a really good experience. So the first one was gonna be, hey, doesn't matter which one you like, right? They're both olive. I gotta say, these are phenomenal. Big winner. Spanish salad. Ooh, crazy good. Yumza. Don't blink, it's your boy Ying. Welcome to my another show. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Hope you guys are having a wonderful afternoon, evening. It is almost sunset. We were supposed to work out, but then I saw outside and I was like, this would be a shame to miss. So today we're doing a special taste test. A lot of people don't know a lot about my preference for snacks. As a kid, I wasn't really allowed junk food. So I turned to natural food a lot. So things like olive were a staple in the house because I love them. But also things like pickle, right? Pickle. Now we have sweet gherkin pickles. I never had these. These are no-name brand, which is save on the price, right? I'm a huge fan of pickle because again, the cucumber is to me a very akin to a watermelon, right? And you just don't have to work as hard. So like, okay, well, this is a plus, right? The pickles are even better because you get the normal good taste, but you get so much more. These leaks, the other one leaked also. Holy! So I'm gonna do something disgusting. Zdrowie. Okay. Very odd. Very odd. Kind of have a salty taste to it, right? It has a salty taste to it, a sweet taste to it, but it's not sweetness, which is sugar. It almost feels like it's normal sweetness, and there's some spices in there that I don't know what it is, but oh yeah, and it's so good. I love what they do here. They take the pickle when it's very small, and when you don't have the middle part, which is really tasty, really nice, really flavorful. I can't get over the taste of the juice. It feels so special to me, so unique. I'm tasting vinegar, I'm tasting sugar, I'm tasting a bit of salt. There's something herbal to it. I don't know what it is, but this is godly. Mm. Mm. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. Don't blink, it's your boy Ink. Welcome to another show. Because they're doing well, having a wonderful 6th March 2025. Today, we're doing a couple of videos. Why not? We have the tower, we have the beautiful sunset. Oh, did I just show you a second tower? What are the odds? No way. There's no way we're playing 3 towers right now, right? We are. Today, we're gonna do a bunch of videos. All of them, like I told you, this channel is more so about my day-to-day life. It's more so about my day-to-day feels. We're really excited about the work because we just posted a lot of CVs, right? Now there's pros, there's cons. I want to come here today and talk about why I think I was unhappy at most jobs. There's a couple of reasons. I know this is like kind of like a negative video, but I'm hearing a lot of people say, "Oh, I hate my job." Then you ask you, "What did you hate?" And they're saying that I don't know. But you come on here and say, "Look, this is why." And I think that this year off of making content and having the best time of my life, right? Is possibly something that taught me so much in a sense of that. So I think most of my life didn't really like myself. See, I had very and I'm not blaming anybody, right? I had very mama bear, papa bear parents. Uh, I don't think I was able to develop as I should have. It was this really weird case of they both would leave me alone for a while, and I would develop there. But then I was overparented, and when I was at evenings, I was like, okay, well, I just had so much liberty, and then I lose liberty, right? So it was a hard time to discover myself, right? And the time I discovered myself was a little bit later in life, right? And that little bit later in life, I think was a great thing because you're thrown into the world. I was literally thrown into the world with the apartment. Okay, well, you got a rent to pay. You need to work. Are you working enough? Are you gonna have to sacrifice some spending so you can pay your rent, right? That was a really cool experience. I think about this one a lot, right? But it's also the place where I learned to be myself the most, right? Now, technically speaking, the learn to be myself wasn't 100% because I was playing video games, I was playing A, B, and C, and I was all that I was doing. And it was kind of cool, but I did shut off the world. I did shut off myself. Instead of doing some self-research or some self-growth or some self-understanding, right? I turned to video games a lot. So again, this lack of growth, right? And why we're talking about that in a video that said why I didn't like the job that I had, or most of the job that I had, I think it's super simple. I think in every single relationship, I think if you don't love yourself, right? If you don't love yourself, there's no chance that you're gonna be able to love the other person, right? And I think I was coming in with the mentality of my parents were such hard workers, and that's a fact. It did bother me because my parents were both such hard workers, but they were also both extremely loyal. My mom, she did 31 years at her job. My father did, I want to say, 36 at his job, right? And then it's hard for a kid who's always being told this to go for a job and think about, okay, well, this is going to be the next 36 years of my life, right? Now, but most of the job that I had, I knew. So the couple of jobs that we had for ourselves, I really like. There was always something wrong though. For example, with the AW, it was really far. They would leave me outside at 12. The first bus was at 3. It's like, holy shit, I have to wait for 3 hours in the streets, right? There was this place also. There was as far as the job goes, it was mostly baking. Baking was a really cool job. It was amazing hours. It was really fulfilling. But you always had this salary, and there was no chance to make more money. So imagine thinking that you're gonna lose 36 hours, 36 years there, at a shitty salary. It's like, okay, well, I don't want that, you know. And with a lot of fear also. Like, for example, if you don't love yourself or you don't think that you're enough, you kind of lean on other people. But both of the jobs I tell you, even IGA to a certain point, IG was really good, but I wasn't getting enough hours, right? IHA was really good though. I really like IHA. You tend to lean on other people, but those places have a high turnaround rate. So that means they're firing a lot of people. A lot of people quit. They're hiring a lot of people. So you're constantly trying to lean on new people, but they can end up leaving. So like, okay, well, I have to lean on myself, but yourself isn't ready to be to lean on yourself yet. I need myself to be there for me, but I cannot be there for me because I'm not ready. Kind of shit, which is absolutely insane to believe, right? And then I had the longest time. I want to say I've had 4 years with the temporary agency, and you'll say what you want about temporary agency. I know they're not the best worker. I know a lot of them they don't care about the job, but I have to admit that at the end I didn't care about the job either because I was like, dude, I'm constantly being fired. I'm constantly being replaced, right? I get attached to these people, and then I'm left on my own, right? And there's also this very this bad mentality where, well, you're not my boss. My boss is the agency, right? So what you're gonna do, right? Which is stupid, but still. Now, when I had my job, people were nice. The last job that I had, people were nice. The first thing I said, and I mentioned it a lot, was the locker weren't locked. That's a huge thing. Locker weren't locked, which means people trust each other. People have been working there for a while, which is another good reason. If you ask around your new company, how long have you been working here, and most people tell you large amount of time, because they're staying there, they have good condition, or they have a good job. So we stay there. And for the first time, I cared about something more than just, well, it's a paycheck, right? And I really think that it's really hard to go in and say, hey, I'm not working for a paycheck, because you got bills to pay. The reality is you probably don't want to go to work. You probably want to stay home, watch a movie, chill. I do. I think you do too. But then you have to work and like, oh fuck, I have to pay the bills. But then there's places that you gotta go and like, what I'm excited to do what at the job I have today. I'm excited to go back to work on Monday, right? So yeah, so I think this lack of love for myself, this lack of self-love, this lack of self-confidence, right? There's also the thing that very dependent. For example, I'm not very dependent in love, not very dependent in affection, not very dependent in attention. They're very dependent on leadership, which is horrible. Your boss tells you to do this, your boss tells you to do this, the boss tells you to do this, and you do it, which is great. But you need a little bit of leadership. Like, okay, well, a bit of free time. What am I supposed to do? What should I do? What is the next step, right? And constantly being guided is not motivating. But it's something that you need, right? If you're not gonna take this step forward and people take this step forward for you, you cannot blame them, right? I think that was a big problem. I think I never saw a job as a long-term job before. And before, if you told me I would work at PCT for 8 years, I'd have called you crazy and have been like, no way. I'm gonna do 4 or 5 years, and then I'm gonna find a way to get another job, right? But I did 8 years, and that was great 8 years. Yes, there were some hard moments, but there were some of great moments. It was a fun job, you know. And there's day where, of course, I didn't want to go to work, which I think is pretty freaking normal. There's day where I would have been anywhere but at work, which I also think is pretty fucking normal. But all in all, I think, all in all, I do think that this job was a really good job, and I think you have to have like a really good job. For example, right? And I always talk about relationship when I talk about work, because it is a relationship. You're going to a place where you have to spend more time than your own wife, than your kid, you know, and like, it's not a relationship, it's a job, but it's a relationship, right? It's like you had 4 or 5 girlfriends or 6 girlfriends, and they all treated you like shit, all treated you like garbage. Then you meet this one girl who treats you kind of right. Wow, this is what I deserve, right? So you acknowledge that a job can be fulfilling. I think a lot of us have, again, this mentality of, I'm just here for a paycheck. And that's a good mentality because you are here for a paycheck, but it's also a bad mentality because you don't want to be here. If you didn't have bill to pay, you wouldn't have this motivation. You didn't have this purpose, right? So I think this is why I didn't like the other job. For example, I went to the job fair. And I was really excited to work. I was really, really, really excited to work. But I started looking around, and I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I went to the job fair. There's places where I was tempted, but I was like, would you do 7 years there? Would you do 10 years there? Would you do 15 years there? Would you do 20 years there? there's a lot of places where I was like, no, fuck no, you know, and it's knowing what you want also, knowing what you want. I think that's a big part of it. They keep going back to the, oh, I'm here for a pay, but what do you want? You want to pay your bills, want to do a good job, you want to possibly get a raise, you want to possibly get um, better at the job that you're doing. Is there aspiration to what you're doing? Is there aspiration to what you want to become? Is there aspiration to what you can become? Or this is just a gig, you know? And there's nothing wrong with it being just a gig, but at the same time, would you? I think if you had this mentality, I think it's very short term. I think long term you'll hate yourself for being like, you'll hate yourself for being like, yo, I didn't take this seriously. And at the same time, you've been working there for, like, for example, the same 20 years, right? My ex job was a job of meritism. So what happened was the better you worked, the more cash you get, the more raise you get, right? Now it was a system that was flawed because some people were more important than others. Some people had more responsibility than others. Then technically speaking, they would have a better salary than others. But then if you don't give others the opportunity to prove themselves, then you're never gonna give them responsibility. And if you never give them responsibility, you'll never get them the raise that they possibly deserve, right? That was a bit of a flawed system. But at the same time, it was a great system because if you wanted more money, prove yourself, right? Prove yourself. A system based on meritism is very flawed because not everybody's allowed to have the same opportunity. But at the same time, it's actually really, really well. It's actually really, really good because yes, I wasn't allowed to have those possibilities, but when the change came, did I actually step forward and say, hey, I'm gonna take responsibility? I don't think we do enough, right? There was these guys at my job, and it's so stupid, but that really opened my eyes, you know. I was there for a paycheck. I'll be completely honest, by that job at the beginning, of course. And then these guys, they were eating sunflower seed, and they had the habit of leaving the sunflower shell on the floor. Now, technically speaking, it's not a big deal. You can have a couple of days of eating shell. You leave them on the floor. You leave it on the floor, and then say, okay, well, there's a kind of mess here. I should pass the broom. Pass the broom. No hurt, no harm's done. But then the boss said, you guys have to start treating this like your home. You're here every single day, 8 hours a day, right? This is your second home. And that's when I realized, like, this is my home, you know? I fucking love these guys. These are guys in my family, you know? And, yeah, I think this is pretty important. I also think that this is a problem of society. For example, I do find that us Canadian, who are seemingly super nice, I do feel like this is a very individualistic society where you don't know your neighbors, you don't know who you're working with really. You're cordial, but you don't give a fuck about other people. You know, it's a system very, very prone on me, myself, and I. And I do get that, but I don't think teamwork. And I think a lot of companies, like I look at years ago, right? My father, my mom, they had so many team building activity, right? And that was important. That was really important because you build a team. And then when all else fell, you care about the other people that you work with, right? You care about the other people that you work with more than you care about the job itself, which is the case with the last job that I had, right? This is why we stayed for 8 years, even though I was depressed. Now there was like a little bit of a whatchamacallit, a little bit of a situation. You guys know it in May 2023, the depression. So we had depression, and then with the depression, I've had a choice. Am I coming back? And then the thought of the company closing in a year, because we knew 2 years before. We knew 2 years before when we were closing, and it was I wouldn't say a blessing per se, but it was something that really came to term. I'm like, okay, well, I just had depression because of the job. Am I really willing to go back. And then I thought about a year. I'm like, okay, well, let's end it in a positive note. Think about it, a year is not that much. A year is about 2,200 hours. So you do four, right? 4 weeks a month, and you do times 12, right? You do 40 hours a week. You do 160 hours a month. You do time 10, it's 1,600, and then you had 320. It's 1,900. That's 1,920, right? It's not that much hours. It's a crazy amount of hours, but it's not that much. So that's pretty much it. So I think this is why the job is. I had issues loving the job that I had before. Now this video is actually quite important because it does mention why those jobs I could have been better. I could have but it's not important. For example, right? And I know this is horrible, but the relationship that you had in the past, do they really matter, or the relationship that you have right now is important, right? Now, ultimately speaking, some of the relationship you'll have kids. Now, of course, relationships are important, but the job that I had, maybe the job that I had the best job ever, the dream job, but I didn't even realize it, right? It's all a question of perception. It's all a question of the right place at the right time. When you understand that, it's crazy. When your life will change. When you understand that, it's all a question of when, and if it is the right when or where. It's crazy. It's crazy. However, this is the end of the video. Love you guys. Take it easy. Thanks for watching. Peace. Don't blink. It's your boy Yink. Welcome to the Computer Show. We've been also having a wonderful day on this 6th March 2025. We are playing in the tower. We're watching a beautiful, beautiful sunset. We're playing. We're doing this also. Today I want to make a video, and it's a video that I know I'm gonna hate myself for it, because it's a huge part of my life. It's a huge part of the content, but I've been watching myself a lot lately. My old videos, what I used to do, and I just realized how bad my consumption of energy drinks was, and how it affected me, And the thought came from, I have this friend, and she is autistic, and she does a lot of TikToks, and well, you always see her as having this chaotic energy, but you always see her with a monster energy drink, right? And then you realize that this is a lot of sugar, a lot of caffeine. And there's a time where I didn't need the caffeine, I didn't need that sugar. Now, of course, it's a part of me. I don't regret making those videos, but I look at those videos, I'm like, okay, well, I can tell that you know what you're talking about, or you don't know where this is going, because you got so much energy, right? You're just trying to spend it, right? I was taking a lot of caffeine, a lot of energy, but I didn't have an outlet for that energy. So it would bottle up, and it would bottle up, and it would bottle up, Then I see myself, and I look like and I know this is over exaggerating, but I look like an addict sometimes, I look like I haven't slept. I look like I'm not doing well, and I can tell that it's the energy, or the thought of having energy. It's all the placebo effect also. Like, you had this energy drink. I'm tired, so I'm doing much better, but you were tired to begin with. So this extra energy that you have, that you think that you need, well, it's so, for example, right? You start at the neutral 0, okay? The neutral 0 is you at your normal, and then you have you're tired, so you're at minus 10, right? You're at minus 10. So you take an energy drinks, and then you're minus 10. You add 20, so negative 10 becomes 10, and now you're doing good. But if you're already at 0 and you drink energy drinks, you're now at 20 versus 10. 10 is manageable, 10 is normal, 20 is hyper, And I just see how it affected me, And at the same time, I haven't had a energy drinks in a while. Well, that's actually, we had one last week, but I've been having a lot left of them, and I'm gonna be going to work soon. Now, what I'm afraid of is the job that I'm wanting, the job where I had the best interview, if you will, the 12-hour job, and that's hard. So I don't know if I'm gonna be doing energy drinks to cope with that. But then again, it's a 3 days a week, so and I don't know. It's just like, you there's always this I think the media you consume are going to be shaping your mentality. So I had this scene at a Trailer Park Boys where this guy was an alcoholic, right? And his boyfriend, because yes, they're gay, um, his boyfriend tells him, Mr. Leahy, you're drunk. And then he's like, no, I'm not drunk. And then the guy films him, and then he shows him the video, and like, okay, well, I was really drunk, right? So yes, in this video where I see myself, and I just feel bad because I was like, you self-sabotage without even knowing it, you know? I don't watch my own videos. I never watch my own videos because I'm super critical, right? It's like a actor or an artist. You have to look at his painting because you're gonna be finding a lot of flaws in his painting, right? So yeah, so I avoid it, but I saw it and I was like, holy shit. So why are we doing this video? I think we learn from a mistake, right? I think we learn from a mistake. I think I've learned from watching the girl, and the girl itself, she's super sweet, she's super kind, but sometimes the videos that she does are super weird. I'm like, fuck, this is this is the surplus of energy. I know exactly how she is. I know exactly how it feels, sorry. And then I was looking at myself and I'm like, well, you're the judge, dude. You did the same thing, you know? So just learning from learning from it. You know, and a lot of people will say, a lot of people will delete videos that they film. I don't really believe in that. I see where there's flaw. I see where I made mistakes. I see where, okay, well, you did this. That wasn't really okay. But at the same time, you know, you learn from them. There's a growth. There's a growth. People will look at this channel and in 10, 20 years and say, wow, this guy used to be fat. He lost some weight. Wow, this guy used to be uncontrollable, chaotic energy, unable to control himself. You know, it's very, I want to say therapeutic. I don't think that's the right term. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, love you guys. Take it easy, please. But how are we having low storage already? How are we adding low storage? My Atlantis. My Atlantis. What have you? My Atlantis. Don't scream. Don't scream. Don't scream, dude. So now, am I able to delete some of the cache? Can I delete some of the cache, please? Please, please, please. Please, 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 please.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Everything's okay?
Yeah.
Good. That's great to hear. Look at the weather, how nice it is.
Pardon?
Look at the weather, how nice it is.
Yep.
It's a beauty outside. Excited about the election soon?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Who are you voting for?
Oh, I don't know. I was gonna vote for Polyev.
Wisely, that's all I like to say.
Huh?
Choose wisely.
I can't hear. I'm sorry.
Hey?
I couldn't hear that. Sorry.
I can't hear.
I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
I said choose wisely.
Yeah. No, I was gonna vote for Polyev.
Hey?
I was gonna vote for
You gotta
Polyev.
choose the one who's going to do the least damage. Not who's going to do the best, who's going to do the least.
Whoa, Justin fucked us.
Hey?
Justin fucked us.
Who?
Justin.
He's not running.
No, I know, but he fucked us with the economy.
He did not fuck up the government, okay?
The economy.
No, he didn't. The economy's pretty good for us.
I don't know. That's what I'm
He
hearing.
did well for the COVID under the circumstances. Everybody should be grateful.
I.
Everybody got something.
But it's hard because you hear so much of the media say, you know, this guy's better, you know. It's a bit harder, you know, because you're always influenced.
Anyhow, he's not running. He's out of the picture.
Well, I'm probably gonna be going with Polyev.
You have fun because you got a lot of Trump in him. When you think Trump and him get together, you were going to really have shit.
Well, I don't know who else is there.
Go on. Don't come whining
I'll come running. I'll knock twice. Why are you coming out and talking if you're not willing to have a discussion? I don't understand. I don't understand people. I do not understand people, I swear. I swear I'm trying to, but I can't. Okay, so now. No. Life updates. Okay. So now, I'm quite confused.